Hello, kia ora, g'day. I'm Philip Duncan from Weatherwatch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only forecast through until Sunday. We've got a lot of downpours this week, tracking from Western Australia over to the eastern side. Let's kick off though with the Monday PM afternoon sort of cloud bubble up map, if you like. It shows 3 hours of rainfall in any of the shading you're seeing. So you've got some heavier downpours over here around Fiji with those purple blobs. But over Australia, you're seeing these afternoon thunderstorms around the Northern Territory, a little bit around inland parts of Queensland and New South Wales. And we're also seeing this line of showers moving across Victoria, which I'm sure will be very, very welcome. We've also got these downpours, thunderstorms out around Western Australia. This week is not looking as wet for Western Australia, and those downpours that you see, they're tracking eastwards in the days ahead, which we'll try and make some sense of. We kick off with the thunderstorm outlook. This is going from Monday to Friday. The timestamp is over here. So what we're seeing is, as we go into Monday, these are the severe thunderstorms, mostly around places like Goldfields, Esperance, a little bit further northwards too, but a lot of that is just out in the more remote areas. But it's worth noting, obviously, because there are a lot of people that live around that area. Now, further northwards, those thunderstorms don't look quite as severe. So this is for today. Let me now animate the week ahead. You can pause it if you need to sort of take a better focus on it. But you'll notice it's all tracking eastwards as we go through the week. And so by the time we get to Friday, we've got a line of severe thunderstorms forming across New South Wales and Victoria, and they'll be tracking eastwards, gradually further into more populated areas of New South Wales, and also tracking across parts of Victoria, a large part of Victoria. So there is some good news later in the week if you need some rain. Maybe you don't want the hail with it. There could be some damaging hail later in the week as well. And look at the clearance out here over a large portion of Western Australia following what has been a very wet, I think, very wet past few months for a large portion of Western Australia, just maybe not so much in the more populated areas. A lot of it was out in the desert. So here's how we look on Tuesday into the afternoon. That line of showers around Western Australia now drifting eastwards. And so it lines up through central areas around Alice Springs. There's some small low pressure here. So that's going to encourage some thunderstorms. Similar story up around the top end. Also down around parts of South Australia, your next chance. I know not everyone got those downpours at the weekend from that line of downpours we were talking about last Thursday. Here comes your next chance. Here on Tuesday, we have another chance of heavier showers moving through. But remember, the blue and the pale blue on this scale, hopefully you can see it. It might be cut off the screen a bit on this map, but you're only talking about 1 to 5 millimeters where you're seeing the blue shading. This is a 24-hour map. Also, we're getting some heavier showers still carrying on around Victoria and maybe also around the ACT, but a large portion of Queensland and also Tasmania looking quite dry. Into Wednesday, now we've got low pressure drifting in to the eastern side of South Australia and the western side of Victoria, and across the day it spreads out, lower pressure pretty much everywhere. That encourages these heavier showers higher up in the ranges and the mountains and the plateaus. Also around Canberra, the ACT could be getting some of those heavier showers. Large portions of the southeast and South Australia not seeing much in the way of rain. I know you can see lots of blue here, but again, that's the bottom of the scale. A lot of the times when you see that blue shading, it means the clouds build up around you. You might get a spit of rain or a few showers, but it may not add up to very much. Large dry areas for a big portion of New South Wales and the more populated coastal areas. Similar story in Queensland. Still got those showers off the sea, and around the Northern Territory and parts of the Kimberley getting more of those heavy showers, maybe thundery as well into the afternoon. Probably moderate sized thunderstorms on Wednesday and into Thursday as well. So you can see here, high pressure is south of Australia. And then between sort of around Bass Strait and going into the mainland, you're getting this area of low pressure. So that's helping to spark these thunderstorms that are forming into the afternoon. And some of them will be severe, which comes with the risk of damaging hail, localized flash flooding. This is going to be an issue across parts of New South Wales, but also going into inland Queensland, the northeastern corner there of South Australia, and right back over to the Kimberley. So those thunderstorms hit and miss. Hit and miss. So a couple of terms you'll hear from me a lot. I don't know if they use these terms in Australia, but hit and miss is a term that I like to say, and downpours, because they're not always thundery. Sometimes they are just localized downpours. And the term hit and miss is good for those of you who see all this and think, oh, that's just a big band of rain moving along. It's not. These kind of, the blotchy shape to it shows these are afternoon downpours, and they can be very hit and miss, and they can move around just a little bit on the map, not quite forming exactly as the computer modeling is predicting. Technology in 2024 is only as good as it is. For everyone who complains about the lack of accuracy of weather forecasts, first of all, I think they're mind-blowingly accurate because of the fact that in 10 days out, you can predict low pressure moving through and to some degree be quite accurate. But I say to people who are frustrated that it's not as accurate as it could be, that's like being frustrated that you can't fly from Australia to America in 10 minutes. Like, the technology's just not there. So you can be as angry as you like that the technology's not there, but hey, you can still get on a plane and get there in half a day, which is probably better than you could do if you were to invent your own flying mechanism. And I talk like that because in weather forecasting terms, we get a lot of people saying, oh, you missed that downpour and you missed that and that. But I still think it's quite mind-blowing that at times we can predict a tropical cyclone 10 days out and nail it where it actually makes landfall. And that's all the computers crunching all of that amazing data that we've got around the planet. So I can only imagine how much more accurate it'll be in another 50 or 100 years from now. The technology is going to be very, very accurate. And then, of course, you get into the other stuff about geoengineering. We'll save that for another day. Let's get into Friday. So here we are, more of those thunderstorms popping up. The Northern Territory seeing some of those heavy thunderstorms as well, but also moving into parts of Queensland. Not so much in the populated areas. Further to the east, those showers aren't so heavy for Queensland. They are a little heavier on Friday, though, around New South Wales, and still getting some of those heavier downpours into Victoria, and an easterly driving in some wet weather into places like Lonnie and Devonport over here in Tasmania. Let's go into the weekend. More thunderstorms. Now they're more widespread for populated parts of New South Wales and going into Queensland. So that's going to produce thunderstorms and some rain relief for those who need it. The timing, though, on the Saturday, come on. Weather forecasters get a lot of complaints about wet weather falling at the weekends. So that could be an issue for some of you who have got weddings or other outdoor plans. Watch out for those thunderstorms. But if you're needing to collect rainwater, or you need it for the garden or the farm, hopefully Saturday brings some relief to those more eastern states. And again on Sunday, those heavy downpours drifting further to the east, but mostly now that low is drifting out to sea. So it drags with it a lot of those showers. So by the end of the week, by the end of the weekend, a large portion of Australia now starting to dry out. We've still got these lighter showers all the way along the east though, and still around the top end in Catherine. The next big stormy system is down here over the Southern Ocean. That's going to drive in another westerly for Perth, Fremantle, our other friends all along that western coastline of the southern part of Western Australia. And check out this storm, southeast of New Zealand. You could fit, 2 or 3 Australias inside that? It is a gigantic storm down there in the Southern Ocean. That's a pretty big storm, the one south of Western Australia by Sunday. And so these big storms down here are keeping the spring weather pattern alive in the southern half of Australia. That's why we're getting these lows and these rain events coming through at the moment. So they're not such a bad thing for everybody, but if you're wanting the weather to settle down, you want those lows to just disappear. That's not in the forecast, not just yet anyway. That's all from me for today. We'll see you again on Thursday this week, and we'll update you again with the rainfall as we go in towards December, which of course kicks off this weekend. Have a great week ahead.